Hi, everyone. Welcome to another session of this HPP Innovation Week 2024. My name is Roberto Peregrina, and I am the USA Director for Hiperbaric. I look after the side of the Atlantic for Hiperbaric, so all the Americas. And this is my pleasure. It is my pleasure to be here with you guys, presenting another session that we're going to discuss, which talks about maximizing efficiency with HPP automation solutions. And I'm going to start by asking the question that why automation is important and why it's taking relevance and these days. I'm going to go back a little bit, and as everybody knows, we had the pandemic, and it's actually when the pandemic started that has accelerated this need for automation. As you may know, the pandemic actually erased about 1.5 million manufacturing jobs, and that was basically destroyed or undone more than a decade of manufacturing job gains. As you can see here, we had a really good traction in getting manufacturing jobs, and then in 2020, that when the pandemic hit, it actually erased just 1.4 million jobs. Although the recovery of the U.S. market has been good, it's not enough. Only around 820,000 jobs have been recovered, but the remaining 570, nearly 600 jobs have no return. As you can see, there's quite a bit to work with. Also, as of October 2021, more than 3 million adults were actually entered into retirement, early retirement. People or adults of 55 years old and older were actually detached from the labor force, which also created a bigger strain on getting people and in the market to help the manufacturing industry. So that retirement grew from 48.1% in the third quarter of 2019 to 50.3% at the end of the third quarter of 2021. It is difficult getting or hiring entry-level employees, and even these employees are just the entry level. We're talking about laborers, people with minimum skills, and as of April 2024, the U.S. Still has a labor force participation of only 62.7%. 2/3 of Americans, around 66% of Americans who lost their full-time job during the pandemic, that they're somewhat not very active or somewhat active or not very active in searching new jobs. And 49% of these people are not willing to go to work unless there's options for remote work. And as you know, in manufacturing, that's nearly impossible. You cannot manufacture outside the factories. Also, younger people from 25 years old to 34 years old are prioritizing gaining personal growth and also skills over searching jobs. And 36% of this age group say they're more focused on acquiring new skills and education rather than entering the job market. As you can see here, many manufacturers find really hard to get entry-level jobs. We know here in the U.S. some of our customers were even paying referral fees to other people in order to get more people. And also, it's really hard to retain that people as well. So there's a high employee turnover, which makes it really, really, really hard. The second most important challenging phase that we're facing here in the U.S. is filling the skill position gap as well. So this is another problem that we have, because these skill jobs require some years or months of training and certification. So that also puts a little bit of stress on getting that people right away. And why this is so relevant in terms of background of what we're going to touch base later on is because in high pressure operations, it is required certain labor processes. As you can see, the way the high pressure works is that we need to pack the product. The product needs to be packed first before it goes into the machine. Then the product is loaded into the baskets. Then once the product is inside those baskets, it goes into the pressurization phase. Then once the pressurization is done, we have to pack that product. So this is typically what an HPP operation looks like. So we load the product into the baskets. Then, as I mentioned, the baskets enter the machine. We close the machine, we flood the chamber, we increase the pressure, and then pressurize the product, and then the product goes out. The product comes out wet and comes out in bulk or randomly out of the baskets. So for that reason, we need to get certain automation or certain aids to help customers to achieve or gain efficiencies. And this is what we're going to discuss is how to implement automation systems for your HPP operation. Over the last 10 years, we have done quite a bit of work with customers and helping them achieve and maximize efficiency through implementing certain devices to help handling baskets, organizing baskets, or making it easier for customers to handle the products after and prior their being HPP. So we have done over the past 20 years more than 20 automation projects, which are included and are sold as part of the whole line, which makes it easier. We turn out to be a one-stop shop for customers, and we pretty much deliver a complete integrated sales. So we design everything from not the robots, of course, but everything, all the solutions, any need that is required by customers, we have pretty much created. We create tailor-made solutions for our customers. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a video of what an automation looks like, and then we'll come back after that to carry on with our presentation. Okay, well, as you can see, this is depicts a little bit of what we can do. This is a three-dimensional model of something that we have in place with a customer that has been able to successfully implement all these solutions from um, loading and unloading automatically with the help of a robot, pre-feeding the machines, and also once the product is treated, all the material handling, individual bottles or trays, tubs, pouches, anything that is needed to be packed, we can handle it. Now, there are some benefits of automating your operation. Automation is not for everyone. You need to have some considerations before you implement automation. Automation comes at a cost, but it also reduces cost. So you have to be very careful before implementing automation, and we can help also on developing the solutions for your needs. So what I'm going to talk about now is about the benefits of automation and high pressure processing operations. One of the key things that we can obtain by adding automation is that we can increase productivity, because we know now the companies are not depending on humans to do the work. The robots will carry on doing the production. There's no need for lunch. There's no need for breaks. So automatically the productivity it's increased or it's achieved. Also, the reduction in labor cost, in direct labor cost, is reduced by 60% in some cases. There are some customers that can only do 30%, 20%. It all depends of the each individual case. With automation, you can also get consistency. This is a repetitive motion, so robots are designed for that. And being a repetitive motion, that makes it a perfect an automated solution makes it perfect for this application. We're also talking about operator safety. You know, humans are curious. Sometimes they put hands where they're not supposed to be. Although our machines are capable of eliminating any risk because they're completely safe. They're tested and they comply with international safety regulations. It happens sometimes that by curiosity someone gets pinched, or you get those small accidents, and automation prevents exactly that. The automated cells that we can provide are completely enclosed, so to access that you have to shut down the whole equipment, and it's a way of protecting the operators. And as discussed, we can also address labor shortages because there's no need for labor with this. Obviously, automation creates another type of skill labor. But if you have problems getting people through the door, automation could be the solution. And also minimizing waste, because at the end, when you have a consistency in your operation, you can automatically minimize waste. The next slide it talks about how to implement automation. Automation, it's as I mentioned, is not for everyone. Small units typically, or operations of one shift, 1.5 shift, it, are really not candidates for automation. The more you use the machine, the easier it is to get payback on your investment in automation. So um, what you could do in a small unit is, rather than fully automate, we can add handling solutions to make your operators and your laborers' lives easier. So you don't have to do lifting, you don't have to be dumping. We can do it, and we can develop solutions for each individual case. So the first factor to consider when you're implementing automation is the return on investment. When you have complex, repetitive, and long labor-intensive operations, the payback is relatively quick. We're talking about 1 up to 3 years return on investment. Also, something that's very important is identifying your needs. If your process is something that is going to change within a certain amount of years, automation is not for you. You have to consider something else. This is for something that is well established that you know that you're not going to change, because if you change something in your process, then automation has to be changed and has to be adapted to cater for the changes. So automation is not for something that may change in the short term. Um, Also, functionality. Non-related tasks may affect the flexibility and on your automation installation. So this is something you need to take in consideration before implementing it. And also support services. So choosing the right equipment and the equipment partner is very important. You need to have someone that is responsive. We understand that when a robot stops, um, you need to have someone that could take care of it and reestablish the your operation as soon as possible. Robots are extremely reliable, but from time to time they also go down, and you have to have someone that can respond. And we're there for that type of occasions. Um, the other thing I want to touch base is showing you a case study, and this is by a big customer of ours and a long-term relationship that we have with him. That is Evolution Fresh. So Evolution Fresh started about 4 or 5 years ago, uh, adding some not automation, but some help to get operators' lives easier. So this is what they've done in the past. Right now, they have a fully automated line, state of the art, and but that has been throughout the years, and because they have changed and they have evolved, and they are creating bigger and better things. So this is typically how they started. They used to load by hand the canisters. So they started first putting the loading and tilting stations. With that solution, they only had to have someone there looking uh, for the bottles going correctly into the basket without the need of touching the bottles. So there was only one person there, whereas before there were 6, 7 people putting bottles in the canisters. Then it went to the pre-fitting station where the forklift used to take those baskets and put them into a pre-fitting station where QR code was read, and all that information read was sent to the machine and was sent to their ERP system. So that was all traceable, and it was all automatic. They didn't have to input any batch codes or anything like that. So everything was taken care for, and that reduced the human error as well. And then they went to unloading robotic stations where the robot take care of dumping all the product coming out of the baskets, and then the pick and place robotic arms with this Delta or Spider robots. Um, what happened when they went from semi-automated or manual to a fully automated line? Well, they actually increased their overall equipment effectiveness by 20 points. So that was an overall increase of 15% with automation. They reduced all the injuries by 90%. So there was no need for lifting. That was about 16,000 pounds of lifting per day per person, which is a lot. So by adding automation, they basically eliminated all that strain. And also the transport and weight was reduced by 50% because they eliminated all the triple handling and all the staging in the process. And the line labor was reduced by 50%. So they eliminated close to 20 people there, and that was a 52% decrease. And that not only it's a direct impact on the payroll, but also on all the ongoings that 20 people create, payroll, all the uh, ancillary equipment and all that stuff that you need to maintain all that stuff. So essentially, and to summarize, Automation is a great tool for companies that are well established and companies that know exactly what they want. We are happy to provide more information on what we can do. Feel free to reach out to us. We have a big list of solutions and a big team that can help with those ideas, and we can put those ideas into motion. So with this, I finalize my presentation, and I'd like to thank you so much for attending, and see you shortly.